Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you have now reached the baddest gospel praise talk sports show in America. And I'm your host, Minister Nino Ackridge. Hey, tonight is Tuesday night, and I'm so excited. Tonight is Sports Minutes with Jeff. And I'm just so excited about what God is doing in our community. Hey, I want to just pause and say, God, I thank you for waking me up to see another day. To thank you for just being good and God all by yourself. And you know, we just gotta give praise to God because we do nothing without Him. He allows us to do everything. So this is the show tonight. I want you to drive home safely. If you're listening to it on your iPhone or your Android, be careful, drive safely. And if you're already home, we want to thank God that He allowed you to get home safely. Hey, if you're eating dinner, you can log in and listen to us while you're eating your meal. And if you're already finished, hey, prop your feet up. Take a load off. Listen to the show. There's always going to be something great and fantastic on the show. We always have a word on the show. Either part one or part two segment. But we're going to get it in. But tonight, without further ado, we're going to continue and listen to the rest of this song that's playing. And then we're going to go with the best sports announcer in this side of North Carolina. Jeff Wilson will be bringing that to you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we will stay tuned and we will be back. All right, Jeffrey, we're listening to Jeff with the Sports Minute. Take them away, Jeff.
All right, everybody. It's great to be back on the show. And thank you once again, Minister, for having me on. Let's go ahead and jump into the NBA playoffs. The NBA Finals are the big thing right now. Let's just review some of what's happened so far between the Heat and the Spurs. From the Heat standpoint, they played well. This series is right where I figured it would be at this point, tied up at a game apiece. The Heat managed to steal Game 2 after the Spurs when they went ice cold from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. The Heat, they need to continue to feed LeBron James the basketball. He's having a great series so far. Chris Bosh hit a late three in Game 2 for the Heat that was huge for them. He needs to keep it up for the Heat, and I think he's got to continue to stretch the floor against Tim Duncan. He's shooting 59% from the field, Chris Bosh is, and he's really been a matchup problem for San Antonio so far. They haven't had an answer for him, and they've got to find a way to be able to stop him down low. for the Spurs, they really played poorly down the stretch, as I said, in the fourth quarter. They've got to finish games out against the Miami Heat, or they're not going to win this series. Kawhi Leonard, he's got to play a better series for the Spurs. He's only averaging 9 points per game. That's not going to get the job done. Last year, one of the big reasons why the Spurs forced the Game 7 against the Heat was because Kawhi Leonard had such a great finals last year. He's got to average around 15 points a game to keep the Heat honest. The Spurs, they have to have consistency from the free throw line. It's really that simple for them. You can't overlook fundamental basketball. For all of you guys who have played basketball at any point in your career, when you played for a team, what was the thing that the coach always told you to do? Hit your free throws. You didn't hit your free throws, you sat the bench. And I think for San Antonio, it's a situation where they when you overlook the basic fundamentals of basketball, rebounding, free throw shooting, you can hit all the threes in the world, but if you miss your free throws, it's going to cost you games in the long run. So I still see this series going to 7 games. I think just the way that it's gone back and forth, I see this going to 7. But as I said, the Spurs have got to focus on hitting their free throws, and the Heat just need to keep feeding LeBron James the basketball. The Stanley Cup Finals. Let's talk about the Kings first. There's really nothing negative I can say about the Kings at this point. They just need to keep doing what they're doing. That team, they can score like nobody's business, and so far, my prediction of the Rangers winning the series in 7 games, it's not looking like much of a reality. I mean, beating up 3 games to nothing against the Rangers, the Kings stick with unstoppable right now. Especially in last night's game, they dominated New York in just about every area of the game. The Rangers, I said last week that the Rangers needed to be on their toes against the Kings, because the Kings can score punches. Well, they're officially on heels right now. Especially when you go down 3-0 in a series. It's not impossible, but they've really got to get it together and quickly. Their defense completely hung Henrik Lundqvist after try the other night. If you're going to take chances against an offense like LA's, you've got to be able to recoup and get back. And there were a few times when the Rangers really did not support Lundqvist the way that he needed to be supported defensively. The Rangers, it's do or die now. Every game from here on out is do or die. They have to get the puck on goal. They have to keep shooting the puck. Jonathan Quick, who had a great game the other night, and it's really simple. You can't win when you don't score points. That's just the way it is in every major sport. You cannot win if you don't score. So if the Rangers are going to have any chance of getting back into this series, they have got to get it together, and they've got to find a way to get the puck to the back of the net. Let's talk baseball a little bit. Let's talk about the hottest team in baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays. They're just on fire right now. Edwin Encarnacion is smoking the ball this year. He's got 20 home runs and 53 runs batted in so far this year. You look at Jose Bautista, who continues to be one of the great success stories in baseball over the last 5 years. He's hitting .309 this season with 15 home runs and 44 RBI. Whenever he steps up to the plate, I always get concerned because, he's the kind of guy who's got the ability to turn a game around with one swing in the bat. Another guy for the Blue Jays that really stands out to me is Mark Burley. Man, he's having an amazing season. He is 10-2 this year with an ERA of 2.04. He's proven to be one of the most consistent pitchers of the last 10 years. His career walks and hits per innings pitched is 1.277. He's just a solid pitcher. He knows how to win. He pitches just exceptionally well in big games. There are a few guys I'd want to have on the mound in a big game, a must-win game, than Mark Burley. And in the National League, the hottest team out there, the team with the best record in baseball, is the San Francisco Giants, which I'm a big Giants fan, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from them. Mike Morse has been one of the big surprises of the last 2 years. I think a lot of people thought his career was kind of done. He was sort of in the middle of the pack, if you will, as far as hitters, but he's leading the Giants right now with 13 home runs and 41 runs batted in, and he's hitting .275 on the year for them. And as far as pitching goes for the Giants, how about the duo of Madison Bumgarner and Tim Hudson? I mean, they've just been phenomenal. Tim Hudson this year, get this, he has an ERA of 1.97 and an incredible whip of 0.96. And to just give you an idea of how great that is, he's turning 39 in July. 39. And guys are averaging less than 1 hit and walk per inning off of him. Absolutely phenomenal. And Madison Bumgarner has an ERA this year of 2.68. The Giants are for real. It seems like they have a pattern where they win a World Series and don't make the playoffs, and win a World Series and don't make the playoffs. I'm thinking this year they're probably going to win the World Series. I think they are the real deal. They can hit, they can pitch, they can field. There really aren't many holes in their game. So let's start talking a little bit about the scores here for today in baseball. The Dodgers are tied with the Reds right now at 0. And the Red Sox and Orioles scoreless so far through 2 innings. They're in the bottom of the second. They're in Camden Yards, rather. The Padres are up 1-0 on the Phillies in the bottom of the third. The Cubs up 2-0 on the Pirates in the top of the third inning. And the Twins are up 2-0 on the Blue Jays in the top of the third inning. And Cardinals are scoreless with the Rays. The Brewers are scoreless with the Mets in the top of the third inning. And we got some other games coming up later on tonight. Marlins and Rangers, Indians and Royals, Braves and Rockies, A's and Angels, Yankees and Mariners, and the Nationals and the Giants. The Tigers and the White Sox were postponed. Earlier today, the Diamondbacks beat the Houston Astros 4-1. I want to make a mention of the recent passings of Don Zimmer and Bob Welch. Don Zimmer was one of the great managers in Major League history, one of the great icons that the game of baseball has ever seen, manager for the Red Sox, and also a bench coach for the New York Yankees during the early 2000s and the late 90s. And Bob Welch was the Cy Young Award winner for the Oakland Athletics in 1990. He won the American League Cy Young Award during his career. Both of them will be truly missed. Well, that's going to do it for the sports this week. I'm going to turn it back over to Minister Ackridge, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.
All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we want to thank Jeff. All right, man. He did an awesome job with our sports minutes, and we're going to keep the show going. And if you haven't had an opportunity to call into the show, the lines are open right now. 919-526-4916. Again, 919-526-4916. And we're going to keep it live. And next, we will be playing the best song right now that's been 3 to 4 weeks on the top of the gospel hip hop, for really not the gospel side, but the gospel praise on your teen side. Teens, I want you to listen. I want you to check me out, because we will be playing some music, and it's not so much about the